Shinobi Podcast.
Reporting live from an undisclosed location, nigga.
Undisclosed. On a need-to-know basis, you know what I mean?
Yeah, your ass don't need to know. Who need to know, need to know.
Whew. What's up, gang? We back at it.
Soaking in this breeze.
The
Cats
forest,
out here
man.
chilling.
It's a different vibe out here, bro.
Y'all
It's a whole different frequency.
You can't see the felines, but they out here chilling. They giving us some of their energy. They warding off the evil spirits. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah. It's a big belief in different cultures, too, from
Yeah.
my understanding. Not just like one. It's like throughout several cultures, they believe that it wards off evil spirits.
It reminds me of the Mummy.
Yeah, because he freaks out when he sees the cat.
Mm-hmm. But it was before he got fully regenerated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I thought that was like a cool
Touch.
little tidbit they threw in there.
Yeah. Great, like, franchise, too.
Bro, the Mummy that was probably
The Brandon Fraser original ones, though.
yes.
Because after, like, whatever ended up happening, it got weird, and I wasn't really a big fan. Even when they brought him back, I was like, yeah, but, like, it's a little weird now, you know?
Well, what was it, the Dragon Emperor?
Yeah, with Jet Li. Yeah.
At the time when I watched that, I had been so invested in the Mummy. Like, bro, I remember the days I used to go to the library because, before there was anything digital, you had to go to the library to, like, get movies and stuff like that used to be my plug for movies.
Oh, yeah? The library?
Yeah, you go to the library and it was free. All you needed was a library card.
And you could just rent them out.
Rent movies. I would go, dude.
I was not aware.
That's how I really absorbed film, bro. I watched so many different films, bro. I would just go.
Yeah?
And, like, they had like a limit that you could get, so I would go and get whatever limit. And I used to just love, like, searching movies out.
Yeah. Okay.
I love just going, like, by the time they had DVDs and shit, I used to love just going, like, and just browsing, looking through, reading the
back,
shit, bro.
Yeah.
And just trying out different shit,
because again, different times. So back then, because I didn't really have that, but I had Blockbuster with my mom's. Like, I really think back, and she's the one that put me on the movies and film, because it was like a treat for us to go to Blockbuster, and then we got two movies, like one that, like, her and my sister picked out, kind of.
Bro, weren't you so excited?
Dude, every single time I was in there, dude. Every single time I was like, we're going to get to see something new. Like, you're like, trying to plan out, like, okay, what do they have? And if they don't have this, like, maybe we should go for this, blah, blah, blah. Because another thing, too, that was crazy is if a movie was popular, and then you knew, like, when it was dropping at Blockbuster.
You had to get there early.
You had to be there. And if not, it was out for, like, a while. Because the other crazy thing, which, like, looking back, I'm like, damn, different times. People would wait for someone to drop it off, too. Yeah. Where they were like, yeah, it's right there, it's right there. You know what I mean? Like, man, dude, it's crazy to think about that.
Yeah, kids.
Different times, bro.
Kids do not, like...
Different times.
You kids that are growing up in this digital age...
Because now you can look up trailers on YouTube.
Let your parents, like, tell you, like, bro, you guys will never know, like, that world. You will never know how it feels to be in that world, before the technology age.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like we had...
the build-up,
more anticipation.
Yeah.
Like, even with TV shows and stuff, it's like, when it was like a big event on TV back in the day, like, it was a big event. It's like,
absolutely.
There wasn't going to be 1,000 reruns. It wasn't going to come on 100 times a day. It wasn't any on-demand.
You missed it.
Yeah. It wasn't any on-demand anything.
Yep.
And now that you say that, man, missing it, I'll never forget, bro. I will never forget. There was a movie I wanted to watch so bad, man. It was an X-Men movie, but they were like young kids, man. I don't remember the name, bro. But it came out. This had to be like the 90s, because I was a kid when this came out, man. But it came on Fox one day. And it was X-Men, but it wasn't like your classic Wolverine, but it was like younger. It was like younger kids, man.
Oh wait, was it Evolution?
No, it wasn't animated.
No, okay.
It was a live action movie. I'm gonna have to look this up. If you guys know in the comments, put it in the comments for me. But it was I can remember the trailer, and I distinctly remember that was a black kid, and he did a lot of I think he does a lot of voice acting now. And he was in a show called A Different World. But I remember him being a character that could like absorb things, because I remember him like touching a rock and absorbing it and like headbutting like a log or something when they were training or something like that. I don't have like a super clear memory of it, but I can kind of remember that.
In the trance, I remember.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look it up. But it was called X-Men something, man. But it was about like younger kids, and I remember. Yeah, I don't remember what happened, man, but I missed it. I still haven't seen it to this day. To this fucking day.
You sure it's not like a Mandela effect?
It could be. It could be. But after this episode, bro, I'm gonna look this shit up, bro. But I still haven't seen it to this day, man. But it was one of those things. You saying that made me think of like, bro, when you missed it, you fucking missed it. But I forgot what happened. But I missed it. I remember it came on at 8 p.m. I remember exactly everything about when it was coming out, because I was so excited for this new X-Men.
I cried the whole weekend.
I was an X-Men dude. I was an X-Men like
fan.
Yes, I was a total fanboy, bro. Because going back to the library, I used to always go to the comic section there in the library, because the library that was downtown where I lived, that it was massive, bro. It might have just been massive because I was a kid, but I remember having like different levels, and I would explore different levels, and I ended up finding this section of nothing but comics, bro. And it was like nobody was up there. Nobody would ever be up there.
That's crazy.
And I would like literally go through, same thing with the DVDs. I'd go through, look through some things. It would really be like the cover of it that would like, get me.
Interest you.
Yeah. And I would have like X-Men, Spider-Man, this over here, I was really into X-Men.
Damn, that's crazy.
But I used to put
that was even a thing.
Yeah, I used to put
experience that.
I put a stack of I just used to put a stack of comics on the table.
And then
that was like a big round table. They sat there.
Banging them out.
Start banging them out and just sit there and read. Like that was stuff I was doing by myself in my free time, like as a kid.
So you've always been like that, huh?
Yeah, I've always been a fucking nerd, bro.
That's crazy. No, I'm not even saying the nerd. You're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that. And like, it's okay if I do it alone. Yeah. Like, there's been so many, you know what I mean? Like so many things that like I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it was time to do that. And like, you'll just go off and do your own. Like go meditate. You'll go fucking do whatever, dude. Like, but like I've noticed that you're very comfortable with just like, all right, this is cool and all, but I'm going to go do an activity for me now. And then you just like get up and leave.
That's real shit though.
Yeah, dude.
That's real, man. But yeah.
I've also always been a nerd, but I never got into comics like that, to be honest.
Oh, bro, I loved it, man. I totally grew up with that stuff, bro. It was like, bro, you did not even need any visual other than, the dialogue they had on there. Like it really spoke to you, because I can say X-Men in particular, they dealt with a lot of deep shit, bro. Like
really
racism and politics and
all together as like the franchise.
Yeah.
I
you know what I'm saying? So I would read this stuff. I would be a kid reading this stuff like, holy shit, like
this is crazy,
bro. I remember I read one at the library, and Cyclops was like, I guess he had like gotten into politics, because you know how they have different writers, different stories.
Yeah.
But he got
universes and all that.
He straight up got assassinated.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm reading this, so I'm learning about like, that's making me think about like JFK and shit like that. But I'm like, I started looking at these comics like, this is like social commentary.
Right.
And I started to grasp that as a young kid, and it kept my eyes open like to this day about like society and what's going on around us. So those comics like really opened me up to like, I guess like you could call it like the mind of society, or it was like a reflection.
Right.
But it was just putting comic book characters within this whole world. You feel what I'm
saying?
Yeah,
absolutely. I guess that's how I feel about certain TV shows that like, I just really like that tend to be animated, and they like touch up on things like that you're like, yo, this is like a social commentary about the politics, or like just anything. It doesn't even have to be like politics. It could be like social politics. Like things that like we make fun of and we're just kind of like brush off, but then it's like no, like at the core, like this is fucking weird, you know, shit like that. Even in like real like people movies, like when people do that and directors throw in like social like things like that, I really enjoy those too, because it makes you see a different perspective on something that might be controversial to even say or think about, and they take it to an extreme where you're just like, oh, that's crazy, you know. I don't know, I enjoy things like that. And I usually tend to find it a lot in animated things versus like real people things, but like they're out there,
Yeah. So we were discussing, well, shit, we've probably been discussing gaming for the past hour.
For sure. Somewhere around there.
Yeah, man, but we were discussing because I was telling him because I recently got back into it, and I didn't even know you had been as deep as you were until we started talking, and you were like, because Call of Duty specifically, because I was wanting to get that game, and I remember we were talking, but you were telling me how you guys were like in the ranked, like ranking shit, and I was just like, fuck, I didn't know you were like hitting it like that.
Yeah, dude, for a minute we were grinding. Yeah.
So that really me kind of like inching my way back into gaming, that really like inspired me. I'm like, these niggas is doing this. I was like, once I, can really like put my time in, I'm like, I think we could really like do something.
Yeah, man.
With it, yo. Yeah. Because I didn't know y'all were fucking killing shit like that.
Yeah, man. I mean,
because that shit's not easy. Like, you get online and you play against motherfuckers that do this shit, bro, and it's like,
it's hard. It's hard.
It's like you better get your shit together if you wanna be.
There's also a lot of hackers, so it's like it's at the beginning. It's not the same it was for like the first season or maybe two. Now I feel like it's definitely just plagued with hackers, so it's even harder.
Now, can you tell me what do hackers do to disrupt the game?
I mean,
or what could they do?
It's not even that I'm that good, but I play with people that are definitely way better. And by no means like on any professional level, but they're good, and we like keep up with certain like people that are better than us. Like you can just tell who's better through ability, and then through things that you're like, well, that's sketchy. One of the things that you can do whenever you feel like someone's doing something that you're like, nah, I don't know, man. I've played hours of this game, and that just seemed like it didn't make sense. You watch their kill cam. So when you watch their kill cam, there's certain things that you can look for. So if people pre-aim, like if you're in a building and someone's already pre-aiming without even seeing you, it's like, how do you know I'm there? There's little things like that that people pay attention to, and then you can report them, and then Activision's pretty good at banning people or at least taking them out of your game or whatever. So that's the advantage, I guess, but it's still plagued with people that are just hacking, and it becomes harder because they have advantages and blah, 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 blah. But none of us play with hacks, and we got up to diamond. Once you get up there, though, you can tell the difference in gameplay. Like people are definitely sweats on that rank. What do I mean? I mean, people have either been putting a bunch of fucking hours in, or they're just naturally talented like that. But dude, there's been some teams that I've run into, because once you get to diamond, that opens up being able to play against diamond, crimson, and iridescent.
No, is ranked only team based?
You can play solo, but I'm definitely not good enough to solo queue with strangers, because I think communication's key. Like, especially in endgame, when everything it gets crazy. Like I've been in some end circles where there's smoke everywhere. You're separated from your team, like kind of close together, but like everyone's in a separate corner and stuff, and and everyone's firefighting. So you have to talk about what's going on with you, what's going on with them, and end circle can be sweaty in terms of there's a lot of teams for a small amount of space that's closing in. So you're like I've had games where I've had 2 kills for almost 90% of the game, and then that end game I come out with another 15 or something crazy, because there's so many teams coming in from the corners, and you just end up positioning in a good spot, and you're just taking people out, man. You're taking them out.
See, all this is like totally new to me. Like what you were saying, that what to look out for with the hackers, I would never even thought of that. I don't even watch people's kill.
I don't watch them. I don't watch them.
So I would never even thought to like watch to see if someone's even doing that.
Yeah, man.
So this is like awesome new shit to me, bro.
If I watch one, it's if I'm like, yeah, that was really sketchy. Mm-hmm. Like, and sometimes it's talent, and there's other times where I'm like, yeah, I'm reporting your ass. Like, there's no way. Mm-hmm. But the other people that I play with, like Luke and the other guy that I play with, he's really good. They're good, and they've been playing that game way longer than I have, and they're way better than I am. Mm-hmm. If anything, they're the ones that have carried me into those ranks because they're better than I am, but you start to get better yourself because you're getting carried, but at the same time, you're still going against people that are in that rank. Mm-hmm. You know, so you have to adapt to how to play at that level. And that's just what's made me better is playing with those guys because it just forces you into lobbies that I probably would have never made it into. Mm-hmm. But since they have a higher KD, I get booted into their better better player lobbies. And there's some lobbies that I've been miserable in, bro, where I've been like, I don't know why I play with you people because I can't even do anything. It's like I spawn in, die, spawn in, die. Like it's crazy, bro. Like. Some people have so many hours on Call of Duty that they know the spawn points, they know where to wait, and they just like.
I'm noticing that.
I'm
noticing that as I'm diving back in. I'm noticing like some people just know. Like it's funny how that gets embedded in your memory.
Yep.
Because I can remember the last one I really played was the World at War we were talking about, but I distinctly remember being very familiar with the first Black Ops.
Yeah, okay.
Because I played a ton of that one. But, dude, it gets etched in your memory, and you literally know every nook and cranny of this map, bro.
Where you can call out spawns by position.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, yeah.
That's another level.
Yeah.
Because
I remember doing that in Black Ops 2, but that was out. Like, I remember when it came out, I believe it was like summer, or if not, whenever it came out this next summer that it was still popular. Mm-hmm. We were having like LAN parties basically with the homies where like we would go over to people's like houses, bring our own consoles, and we would all play or split screen, and it was Black Ops. And that's what got me into Call of Duty is playing with the homies over the summer. I'm sure if I dig through my Facebook somewhere, I'll find a picture where we all have I believe Xbox controllers in our hands, and we're all playing Black Ops. If not Halo, it's one or the other because that's what we switched to. Is whenever because I was the only PlayStation guy in my friends group, and everybody else had Xbox.
You're the fucking oddball, huh?
Yeah, I was the oddball, but that's what I grew up on. You know, like I grew up on PlayStation, and I've been a hardcore fanboy ever since. Like
that was me too. I transitioned to Xbox.
Okay.
Like I switched over after a certain point.
What I was gonna say, which one? 360.
360 did it for me.
Yeah.
When I got a 360, I was like,
I feel like a lot of people converted at that point.
Yeah, actually. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to PlayStation now.
Yeah, I feel like that was the key mark for a lot of people that I talked to. Where they're like, I did until the 360, and then like people switched.
But you know what I did? I got a 360, and I ended up getting a PS3. Just to like see,
test it out,
all right,
or have at least a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Also, because I wanted to play Uncharted, that was like the main reason.
Right, because when exclusives were actually exclusives,
when exclusives were exclusives, bro.
Yeah,
look, bro, that's what it was.
Yeah,
when exclusives were exclusive, you literally had to go buy the console to play that.
You could not play it. You had to go get that console. But that was like the console wars time, though. Like
the real
console wars. And then I don't know if because a lot of people, because including myself, now I'm a PC player, and people started to like skeet away from that. Is that I feel like everybody is out for money now.
Yeah.
Like no matter what platform of video game you play on, it's money. And then within games, it's like you can play the game and have this currency, or you can have the money like from cash that you have to spend, or your money to get this amount or whatever to buy stuff like outfits and like amulets, like whatever, depending on what game you're playing.
But they've pushed it,
dude.
They pushed it to the max. Like thinking about going back to
it's insane, bro.
Going back to remembering how it was. I remember when you would get everything in the game, pay full price. That was the game.
That was it.
Wasn't no extra nothing. It was this is the game.
Different time.
You might get some extra, maybe, and that was like some like a special game. Might get something extra coming up. But now it's just like you said, bro. It's just this money grab.
Money grab, like, bro.
And I can even say myself, even with like being on PC now, which I love. Like,
love it.
I don't know why I didn't go to PC before, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I loved consoles for a while, you know. You grow up with those things.
I did too, bro. Yeah. I did too. And now I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'll get another console.
Yeah. Like I don't think I will, man.
I don't think so either.
I don't think I will.
They would have to really do something crazy for me to be interested. And even then, the more I watch videos on people building PCs and matching the consoles for less amount of money that they're selling the console for, or even like the other side where they match the price and they end up running better than the consoles. It's like, why would you?
Yeah.
At that point, why would you go get a console? Like, you're just hurting yourself in the video game world, especially now that you have all these pros that have top of the line PCs and controllers and headphones and microphones and blah, blah, blah,
well,
blah.
then think also you don't have to pay the subscriptions like Xbox Live. Like, you know, I used to pay that, you know, $60 a year or whatever it was, which, you know, wasn't bad.
Actually, I still pay for my PlayStation one.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can play online.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 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 And then I have years of like saved cloud data, so I just keep paying for that every year, bro. But I have like the basic package because now they have silver and platinum or gold or something. Like now there's tier systems to shit now.
That's weird because I just go from my PC and I don't have to like have any subscription to play multiplayer.
Yeah, because that's PC, brother.
Oh, you're going from that account.
Yeah, like I'm talking about PlayStation account. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not PC. Yeah, no.
PlayStation just like account. Switch that over or something?
To what? To Steam? I don't know. Maybe.
Some kind of transfer or something? I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I can transfer it possibly into the storage with the actual.
I guess since it's two different companies, I don't fucking know.
No idea.
Because I knew you could do like crossplay and shit like that, but I didn't know you had to like.
Well, it's the same thing with Nintendo. We just bought the year membership so we could play online. Yeah, man.
I don't really know how any of that shit works.
It's a money grab. It's a money grab.
Going back to our point.
Yeah. Going back to the money grab point.
Yeah, man.
We also were talking about how it's crazy that people are making millions off of that now, you know, and if not millions, at least hundreds of thousands of dollars with esports, where I grew up in a time where people were yelling at you for playing too much video games because that's not going to make you money.
Yeah.
That's never going to make you money. And it's just crazy to see how times have changed so much, bro. Even in like little things in life, bro. Like the minivan, bro.
Minivan?
The minivan, bro. How much the minivan has changed throughout the years. Like, just even that, I was like, damn, man, I am getting old, because even shit like this is the type of shit that you would, like, look at your parents and be like, you're only saying that because you're old, mom. You know what I mean? Or, like, dad, whatever. But I feel like we're for sure at that point because of the minivan. Back in the day, I remember getting into a minivan, and when you had to open the windows, you couldn't open the windows. You had to press it. It, like, popped out, and it didn't, like, fully open.
Yeah.
And just, like,
just the bottom of it?
Yeah, allowed a little ventilation to come through, but you couldn't really open those windows. And now you have automatic windows on minivans, bro. In the back. Boop.
Well,
automatic doors.
Think about before the minivan, it was the damn station wagon.
Yeah, that's true.
Until they're like, you know what? We got to get rid of this long ass thing.
Yeah, let's make it a little different. Because at the end of the day, it's almost the same thing. Yeah, man, just time, dude. Time is crazy, dude. Do it.
This guy.
That's Luke. Shout out to Luke.
Shout out to Luke.
Love that guy.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just getting to know Luke.
He's a little wild, man.
We're coming on. He's a bit wild.
I love it, though.
I remember that story he was telling us.
I love it. I love it, dude. He's wild as fuck, and I love it. I think we were talking about this, where like you just like end up attracting, like like-minded people as you, and then some. You know, it just happens to be that we're a little wild, and then you just end up attracting wild people, bro.
Bro, that's how it be though.
That
That's how it be though, because I can really say everybody I surround myself with definitely got some wildness in them for sure.
makes me think of like My Hero and how they call like their superheroes quirks.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like everyone has their own quirks. You know?
Mm-hmm. What would yours be?
Mine? I don't know. Whatever's like annoying.
You're more you've seen a lot more of the show than me. What's one of the coolest quirks you've seen, or one of the most unique ones that you've seen on that show?
I thought that this character's name Lemillion.
Lemillion?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought they did a cool job at making that power super strong, I guess. I mean, even though at one point some shit happens, but it I forget the word for it, but essentially Homeboy disappears and then pops back up because of somehow his like molecules change or some shit. And so they explain it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, okay, that's kind of crazy as fuck.
Wait, so
he becomes transparent.
Uh-huh.
And so I guess somehow he
can he phase through shit?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like you ever heard of Shadowcat?
No.
That's another X-Men character.
No idea.
But that was her power, is like she could phase through solid objects.
Yeah, except he doesn't like vibrate or anything, because I've seen like shows where things where like they vibrate. Like he just kind of like goes transparent. Nice, the kitty cat.
Really, bro? We're gonna have to get security on set.
Security. Homeboy's tripping, dude.
He's like, bro, I'm just trying to hang out a little bit.
I can't. Crazy cat. I can't even grab him.
We noticed.
Yeah, dude's wild. Knocked over our light, dude.
Wild homies, wild cats.
It all goes together, dude.
Everybody wild.
Well, his name's Dumpster Kitty, so you can only imagine. It's because we found him in a dumpster, so.
Look at it. He went from a dumpster to this life. That's a success story if I ever heard one.
Absolutely.
Dumpster to luxury.
To a 3-story, or like not 3-story, but like 6
Went
foot.
From a 1996 Honda Civic to a Rolls Royce.
Pretty much.
He could have been beef and broccoli, bro.
He could have been eating whatever the hell he wants out of the trash can.
That's wild.
Or he could have been sweet and sour.
You never know, you know? You could have been any of those.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, back to this nigga. So he goes transparent.
Yeah.
What does he use the powers for? Like, what does he do with his quirk?
Well, he's also super strong, and I guess the way he manipulates his molecules, he essentially hits, I think, the floor of like the earth or some shit like that, and then he pops back up. So like he's this like uppercut that hits the fuck out of people, because he like comes from
uppercut from the fucking
like,
core of the earth.
Fucking core of the earth type shit. Yeah, I don't know. It was like crazy, bro.
And then he got the earth's crust on his knuckles.
Or I don't know if it was a core of the earth, but he like essentially drops down to a level where when he bounces back up, like he has like a lot of inertia with him or whatever.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he also phases through shit so he can disappear, blah, 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 blah.
How this nigga gonna be double?
And he's also smart, so I feel like the way he uses that, that's like, what I was going to say is like something annoying, but yet probably that would, like, I would figure out how to use it smart and end up being like cool, you know? Because that's what I was going to say about him. Like, when they explained it, I'm like, that's kind of like lame, but he made it cool, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I feel you.
And there's a couple other, like, another example is Froggy, that girl with like the frog powers.
Yeah.
I've always been like, what? Like what?
She's just
But
like
she ends up being a long run character,
Yeah.
and she is creative.
if I was
Let's
in
put
that
it that
world,
way.
I couldn't look at her for too long.
It's a little weird.
She is a little fucking.
So it's crazy too. They like kind of touch up on what I would consider like racism, due to in the show. You know how there's characters that are like kind of like animalistic, and there's others that are human.
Yeah.
And there's others that are like, I guess, humanoids or whatever. There's like this racial divide in the show of like, the people that look like animals and beasts and stuff. And it gets like weird and crazy. I want to get into it.
But like the fishmen were like pretty much like black people. Like they've been.
Oh really? That's crazy.
There's been like a lot of prejudice and stuff against like the fishmen, and One Piece touches on a lot of that too. But you were making me think of like, I was thinking about like great powers, man, and we were watching an episode. I was watching it with Kenji here the other day, man. But there's a devil fruit that a guy, his name is Whitebeard, has, and he can pretty much make tremors, like shockwaves and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's so fucking cool how they do his power, because it's almost like it kind of looks like when he does his power, he literally like cracks the air to create that shockwave. You know what I'm saying? And it's like super cool, and I would love to have that fucking power. It's like super destructive, because in the series they're like, his particular devil fruit, they like has the power to like destroy the world. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Because he could create tremors in the fucking sea and change the polarity of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
So a lot of these devil fruits within the stories, like if they get into the wrong hands, yeah, they're super OP. Yeah. But if they're in like the wrong hands, it really causes problems.
Well, you'll end up seeing that. That's kind of like Midoriya's story. Is that like the power that was invested to him by All Might is like an OP power that like in the wrong hands it would be very devastating. You know? So you get this. I think I told you about this. It's a really cool story because you end up hearing about the predecessor story a little bit, and you know why they got the power, and apparently whatever I forget the opposing power, which is the dude in the mask. He's been hunting the person with the because I get it mixed up between, it's all for one I think is the bad guy, and then One for All is the All Might power. So you get to see how All for One is basically in search the entire time for One for All. And it gets real weird and crazy, and basically everybody has a reason why they got the power like bestowed into them, and it all had, well, in my opinion, it all had to do like with character basically. And they also had to be quirkless, I think, or if not, it had to be a weak one. I can't remember exactly the details because I dude, that's a long show.
So would you say it's kind of like a power for the weak, or power to be
kind of,
well, let's say physically weak but strong-willed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually probably the best way to put it. Yes, absolutely. There has to be like a certain personality per se to make sure that they're gonna be fighting evil all the time,
and make sure that they like earn it and work for it, and because they just don't have these natural gifts. You know what I'm saying?
And apparently, like, yeah, absolutely. The two forces meeting would be like devastating depending on like who overtook who, if that makes any sense. So everyone's aware of like, yo, he's coming for you, and like you can't let him have it. Like, you know, that's the vibe, is you can't let him have it.
So can he obtain it in a way? From my understanding,
it was branched off from him, basically.
The power? So it originally belongs to him?
In a way.
In a way?
In a way. from my understanding, that power wouldn't have developed if it wasn't because of him manipulating someone else's like quirks or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then that ability developed through the way it was um, like given, and it also absorbed, because you end up like learning a bunch about those quirks and stuff and how they can be hereditary and like this like all of this crazy stuff.
So they dive deeper.
Dive deeper into like the explanation of even like how did they become superheroes? You know, like how did that happen in that society or whatever.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Like I said, that's actually the first anime, because I've never read manga. That's the first anime that I've been like, damn, I want to actually get into manga, because I want to like go into the nitty gritty of like what is this? Because from my understanding, the TV shows are like multiple mangas into one episode.
Yeah, they're shortened.
Like, they shorten them up.
Yeah, you do lose a lot of info.
That's what.
With anime only, the show. And I know you also spoke about like mentorship within that show.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel they portray that, and kind of reflecting from your own life? You know, you have mentors with your dog training, and
I think, damn, that's a good question. I think what I've learned from it, and one of the things that I'm called to, is that you get to see how if you just focus on one thing and you feel like it's the right thing to focus on, you can be great. And through the show, you see how, you know, there's people in your life that you probably already have or you've had. You already have or you've had in your life that they've kind of guided you. You know, they've kind of pushed you towards excellence in one way, shape, or form. And because of that, you are the person that you have been forged into today. You know, let that be your parents, your grandparents, your coaches, your teachers. You know, like I can think of several people in my life, thankfully, but you know, I feel like there's always someone that believes in you, you know, and part of what ends up making you great is all that support from the people that you're like, okay, you believe in me, like, let's do this then, you know, like, and that reflects now in life with business, with like, okay, like, just, all right, you're doing this, you're doing that, like, keep going, man, like, it's just gonna grow, it's gonna get better. They didn't start being the best superhero, the best villain, the best, you know, whatever it is, because that's the cool part about anime, is you get to see kind of opposing forces of why this person grew up to be bad or is bad, and then why this person is very benevolent and good. And most of the time it has to do with like love and the energy that individual received, you know, growing up in, you know, very pivotal moments in life where if you're not treated right, you know, your mind can get a little skewed. So I think mentorship is really important to support you through anything in life, whatever you're doing, you know, sports, school, because at the end of the day, those are the people that believed in you, and it triggers something within the human psyche to want to perform for them, you know, where you're like, damn, I want to, you know, make sure that I do this because, you know, if I get good grades, you know, mom's gonna be happy or whatever. You know, it's that there's things that are like very cool to see, that because of the mentorship you strive for more, and it all is just them believing in you as a person the entire time. You know, so it's cool to see all that. You get to see character development as well, and it starts off a little childish, I would say, but then as it matures, you know, it gets a little darker and stuff. So you get to see the growth of certain characters go from, you know, kids to like, you know, more adults, and the more adult mentality as well. They have to make hard decisions and blah, 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 blah. So
are there any character mentor pairs you can think of that are similar to the relationship of you and your mentor within the story? Do you see any similarities?
Oof. That's tough because I feel like there's a lot of things now psychologically that I see within mentors, in different types of shows, and again, talking about both sides of the spectrum of they could be a mentor for like good or they could be a mentor for bad, and you get to see how words from people that you believe in really influence your mindset. So I think it's important to find the right person, and something I peep in the shows and stuff is I feel like my mentor has always been that really supportive, really good, like I believe in you mentor, and that's why I am where I am today. Because he took me in, he showed me all these things, and then he was like, yeah man, like you got this, like you're a dog trainer, like I've taught you everything I could, like you are a dog trainer, go out there and dog train. And once he told me that, it was when I launched all of this, and this is like all of this is part of the result of the company. So it's pretty cool to see that you went from I don't know if I'll have any clients to, oh man, like I got a lot of clients. Like because it's two different mentalities, and sometimes when I get overwhelmed, the only thing I remind myself is, you used to pray to have this many clients like the year before or even the first year, and now you're there, like just keep getting through it, man. Like it's a blessing, and then now you start to understand how hardships are blessings, regardless of how you might see them as hardships in those moments. Most of the times they're blessings or some sort of lesson. It's
something coming
it's
around
life,
the
man.
corner, man.
Yeah. And mentorship always is also tied into that, because I'm able to talk to several people that are, several years older than I am, including yourself, man. And I'm like, yo, what do you think about this?
Several.
That's
fine.
So I always look to people that have lived just a little longer for guidance in terms of like, have you been through something like this, and sometimes it might even be a hey man, like am I being a dick? Like am I doing the wrong thing here? Like I think that I do that a lot with people that I can confide in and I feel comfortable in, and they tend to be a little older because maybe I just don't take my peers a little bit more serious, but most people don't, like it. So who knows? But most of the time I realize that I'm like, hey man, like it's kind of like an advice of like, hey, what do you think about this? And most of the time people like, even if they're a couple years older than you, like it doesn't even matter. They tend to get to, I feel like the human gets to a point where they really get good at cutting through the bullshit. So people tend to be a little bit more direct about like, yeah, you're being a dick. And then you're like, all right, cool, versus when you're younger, you don't really get that. You kind of get, maybe softer friends per se, or maybe even at the same time, there's friends that have been with you for so long that they're like, bro, yes, because you've done shit like that to me. You know what I mean? And then like they talk about like, yeah, when you did it to them, it made them feel this way. And then you learn from those experiences. And I also feel like sometimes it's opened up a different perspective from friends too, where, they're like, they share something that's similar to what I'm going through or that I'm asking about, and it opens that door to like open up and communicate and get a little bit more into like the nitty gritty of friends.
Man, that's happened to us a million times.
Oh, so many times.
Having a conversation like, bro, are we living the same life?
We're all living the same life, bro. It's the craziest part too. It's like everyone goes through almost very similar. Because I mean, it's a joke, obviously, but there's a lot of people that go through very similar situations to the point where you're just like, yo, are we really in a matrix? That's the joke to that, because there's just so many things that we get to chopping up about, and you're just like, damn, bro, it's just the same thing, huh? Over and over. And that's a good example of how we're just gotten to a point where we just cut through the bullshit and we're like, yeah, this, yeah, that, and that's what's made our friendship so much stronger, though,
Yeah.
Like so much stronger.
Don't make any friendship stronger. Cutting through the bullshit.
Cutting through it, bro.
Any relationship in general. Yep. Really, man. Just
because I feel like as I get older and more shit starts to pile up, then now you understand why your parents might have not been in the best mood all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like now that you're really in it, and
now,
you like.
Now that I'm really in it.
Yeah, dude. Like, and I don't even have kids, but I have the
bro.
dogs, and still there's times where I'm like, yeah, this is that shit. You know, this is that shit that like. No wonder you just had some days where you're like, damn, like, why are they fucking being all upset? You know?
And I think about that more now, man.
Oh man, dude, there's probably not a day that it doesn't go by that I'm like, all right, man, everything's all right though. You know?
I was just thinking today though, bro. I was like Kenji, he's not gonna understand until later. It's like, oh man, Dad was like, he was trying to figure life out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't have everything figured out.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wasn't the one with all the answers, you know, because that's what we look at our parents as.
Yeah, they're
at some point, like having all the answers, but
all the answers.
And then we have a lot of expectations from them, you know, because we have this view of them. But until you get in the position and you start to get around their age that they were when they had you, and then you have kids, you're just
completely different vibe, bro.
You're like, what, bro?
It's a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's helped me channel a little bit more patience too. Because, you know, on the other spectrum for me, I started to think about, damn, I was kind of a fucking shitty kid at times.
Mm-hmm.
You had to put up with that shit, Mom. Like, it's like, all right, man, bro. Like, fuck, bro. Like, especially having a Gma, like, in recently, and, you know, talking to her, I've been like, dude, you're a fucking G, because I was such a shitty kid that, you know, like, I don't even understand where you got the patience to be so good. You know, like,
I don't either.
Shit like that, man. Like,
I don't either.
Same thing for my mom. I'm like, dude, like, I thought, you know, she was tripping a lot of times, but nah, I was the asshole, you know? And it's I'm just thankful for everything that they've taught me though. Everything, the principles and the manners and the shit that, you know, I see a lot of people complain about in others, let alone kids as well. You know, you hear that, oh, like those kids don't have manners. And even though they might never ever say it to your face, like, you know, and this is the reason why your parents are so fucking strict on putting manners into you is because they know that other people are going to talk shit behind their back, and it doesn't reflect you on you. It's a reflection on your parents of why didn't they teach them that? Why didn't they teach them any better? And now that I'm older, I'm like, God, dang.
Bro.
Fuck, dude, I fucked up so much, and I'm just grateful that my grandparents and my mom were like fucking heaven sent, you know? So life changes once you get a little older, once you start to see and experience. So again, this is why I'm thankful of like different mentorships, because even before Mom's passed away, you know, I would ask her about a bunch of shit, you know, even like taxes and shit. Like, you know, it got to like certain points in life where I look back and I'm like, bro, you were 22, 23 still asking your mom about shit that you should have figured out, you know, like just little things like that. But they're always there, you know, they're always there to help, mentor, and guide you through tough situations. And without that shit, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today. All those little influences from different people that just believed in me.
Everybody plants a seed in you, man.
100%. 100%.
Like having kids now, I think about that a lot more. Cause I think like just, you know, being here and him being here, it's just like everybody's planting like a piece of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That he's gonna take with him.
Yeah, forever.
You know.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
It's really gonna be part of who he is, who he becomes.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like it's totally molding him. Everybody's having an impact.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
He's gonna pick up things from everybody. You know.
Yeah, man. 100%.
I think that's real cool, especially when we're all gonna push him in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, everybody. You know, that community that we were talking about. You know, the whole community is pushing the kid up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like even if it's off of our backs, we gonna push
see
the kids
it too,
up.
man. Like when you were here during the hurricane, and then Christian stopped by too and stuff. Like I like we all ate dinner together and shit. You just like get to see like how like shit just like really starts to mold into like your circle of really good friends. And you know, and the reason why I say it is because Kenji, you saw moments that like Christian played with him, Casey played with him, Luke played with him, like, you know, including myself, and you really start to get the notion of like, damn, family really isn't necessarily like the people that you share blood with immediately. It's like sometimes it's the people that are around you, you know, and it's cool to see that him at an early age is like watching and learning just about life through us, you know, and it's awesome. Like it's cool.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's gonna be key. It will be key figures in his whole development, you know. But it's good shit, man. Yeah. I'm happy for it.
Me too, man. It's dope. It's dope having him here too, and like seeing him run around and be happy and like being comfortable and shit. Because like you know, I don't know much about kids and kid psychology, but you do read that, you know, a kid that's laughing in the house and having fun is usually a happy kid, you know.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and that reflects that, like, dude, he's over here playing all the time. He plays with the animals, and so it's like it's super dope to see even that.
That's another great thing, like. Did you remember the first time he came with the dogs?
Dude, like, he was terrified, bro. Terrified.
Compared to now, now he's just like, what's up, bro?
He's like, hey, what are you guys doing?
You know?
Like, he's now more curious, like, wants to play and grabs them, and, like, was playing with Azula, you know? So it's, like, it's super cool to see that even small development of my dude was terrified of the dogs, and now he wants to play with them. What's up, Shorty? Excellent. We will be in. Maybe.
I don't believe
you. Good. Okay.
Yeah, we finishing up, homie.
You little weirdo.
I wish it was snow so I had a snowball. I could just. That'd be perfect, right? Right in his head. That'd be perfect.
I bet you would, big boy.
Yeah.
Life set.
We are gonna have to get security. But yeah, that's dope, man. Cause I never wanted him to be one of those kids that's just deathly afraid of dogs for no reason, just because they've never been exposed or they had one situation or they saw some shit on TV.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy he's like comfortable because I think that's big and just like his confidence building.
Yeah, you get to, that's the cool part that you get to see is that he went from like literally hiding behind you and grasping onto your like pants for dear life to, hey, what's up? How we doing?
Yeah, you remember that first day he just went in there by himself?
Yeah,
like went to the dog room
and
by
he
himself.
ran back because they barked at him. Yeah. Homeboy even did the toddler run where he's like, ah, you know, and they don't even know what they're doing, but they're just running for their life. Oh, yeah, dude. Absolutely, I remember that.
That's funny.
And now he's totally comfortable with them. And it's crazy to see just that small development, you know, of how it really is just like the little things that develop that person into later on being confident or not enough confidence. Or like, you know, like, and I'm sure it gets weird. Like I said, I don't know enough, but like, you know, anything that I've read, I'm like, wow, like, fuck. Like, it does get a little weird. And it's kind of like, in a way, again, where it makes sense the more I hear from people that went to school for way longer than I did. They talk about how dog psychology and child psychology go hand in hand. And it's like, I see a lot of, I would say, like, I guess, body language cues of like development of you know, you see the kid being scared visually, you know, crunching down and becoming very uncomfortable to like now he's walking by them, he's confident, he's happy, he's smiling, he's grabbing them, you know, like it's crazy to see that those little things all matter. Or how we even talked about the incident where he yacked and he wanted to cry, and we were all kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you know? And he wanted to cry, but because we ended up laughing at him, he just laughed into it. Like, you really get to see some crazy things that you're like, wow, dude, like, every little thing mattered. And I even was like, man, that kid could remember that moment, you know, of him yakking and us, like, you know, just laughing it off. Yeah. Like, and that has, like, a huge impact probably on how he would handle an embarrassing situation.
The funny moment.
Yeah, he turned it into a funny moment instead of an embarrassing moment. So it's like, it's just, if like I literally have some days where I'm just like, yo, like I don't even know if I'm ready for kids, bro. And then it's like
you'll never be ready.
And that's what I was about to say. It was like, and I don't think you're
ready.
ever ready. I think it's just one of those things where you either have to jump for it or you don't, you know? And I don't know, it's not the time for me yet, but definitely watching Kenji like walk around and shit, I'm like, maybe that would be nice, you know?
Once you see it in your face, you're kind of like...
And then I hear him throw a fit, and then I'm like, but maybe not yet.
Yeah. That's why I love being, like, bro, I love being an uncle for so long. That was like, that's the top spot right there, uncle.
the cool uncle, yeah, exactly, bro.
Because you get to do all the cool shit, and then it's like, all right, baby, take you back home.
Peace out.
But yeah, that was great times for me, the uncle phase. But
I believe it, brother.
It's all good now,
I
man.
believe it.
Now it's like, bro, you dedicated now. Totally dedicated. So I love it though, man. But yeah, man, we never gave an introduction, but welcome to the Shinobi Podcast, man. We just got into it. Sometimes that's how it go, man. We just flow. Get into this thing. We talked about a little gaming. We didn't really get into this, but it don't matter. We still had a great conversation.
Great flow.
We got some extra shit for later.
We have more stuff.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm glad we were able to do this. New spot. It's kind of like a rebirth for everybody, man. And I'm happy we could be here to like experience and support each other through this shit. Cause bro, doing shit on your own,
it's tough.
Sometimes it is not the move.
It sucks, bro.
It's not the move.
That's just really what it is. It sucks. Yeah. It teaches you a lot about yourself, though. I will say that. But at the end of the day, it's nice to have like a community that you can like count on.
That's, dude, I'm just like, now I'm starting to just value this shit so much, even more, man.
Just, yeah, same, bro. Same.
Every fucking day. Value grows, like my gratitude for it grows.
Absolutely.
Because that's like, you know, that's what I'm focusing on. So I'm like, man, this is...
You just end up being grateful, dude.
Yeah. You get everything you ask for, and then when it gets here, you're like, shit.
It's happening.
It's here. Yeah, I'm in
like,
it now.
Nice.
It's no longer that dream state. It's like, fuck, it's here, you know?
We're doing it. We're walking the shit. Like I said with the business, bro, like, shit that I used to pray for, you know? And now you're like, oh, fuck, dude. Like,
it's here.
We're here, dude. We're doing it. And it feels good, man. It feels good.
It's only here because you stuck with it.
Yeah.
Through every fucking thing, man.
Through everything.
Bro, just the test after test, bro. And I feel the same way because, you know, even though we're doing different things, I feel we're going through those same things.
Very similar like obstacles.
Internal stuff, you know, having the, how am I going to do this? And sometimes doubt creeps in and not knowing and...
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, thinking like, am I making this right move, that right move? Because, you know, your moves are going to lead to outcomes. So you want to be like, fuck, is this
the best outcome?
Yeah, or is that outcome even going to be the outcome from this move?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because everything is speculation.
Yeah.
You're just like throwing ideas out there, but you don't really know what's going to stick or not. But once you get into those, like, I would call them creative modes. You really start thinking of like, okay, it could go this way, but it could go this way. But ideally, I would like it to go this way. But, you know, again, like, you don't know. And sometimes it like, in my case, it's worked out like that where I'm just like, hell yeah. Other cases, it's been the complete opposite end. And then other cases, it's not necessarily the way I wanted it to happen, but the same end result of what wanted to happen happens. And it's just like, all right, well, I guess it's just really one of those things where once you're like on a path, like that's the path.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's
like real
bro.
crazy because like there's been times when I'm like, you know, whatever, like this might not be a thing, or you know, we'll put this to the side because now this has to be a focus. Like it's one of those things where like if you stay consistent, you'll hit this, but like almost immediately after that, it's like the universe, God, whatever, like the almighty being, like almost throws you a bone and is like, hey, good job on that one. So here you go. It doesn't always work out that way, but there's definitely been times where I feel like, and this is what's fucked me up, man, and this is what's made me more spiritual than not, is it's times where like times are the toughest and I'm like, man, like I just want to give up. Like, I just want to give up and fucking, dude, I'll fucking go scrub dishes or whatever. Like I don't give a fuck anymore. I'll you know, you get into these weird mindsets because of whatever reason, stress, let it be, life, financial business, like, you know, there's different obstacles that you go through, especially as a business owner, that if you don't get yourself right, like that could take over, you know? And it's crazy to really think about how if you don't put the time into your own like planning and understanding that sometimes there's bad outcomes to things, and that doesn't necessarily, that's not going to stop you. You need to keep going. I think that's one of the hardest parts, man, because life will test you, and like we've joked around about, we're like, are we all living the same life? Like obstacles become very similar to other people, and they might go through them earlier in their business stage, and then sometimes it's later where you went through it first, and then you can talk to them about it, and then like, you know, you learn from all that stuff. Especially now that like I have you, I have Christian, I have a couple other homies that, you know, we're all kind of in that same developing stages of the small business. It's like it's very, very helpful to have someone to be like, hey dude, what's up with this? Hey man, what's up with this? Hey man, what's up with this? So it's been building, man. It's been building.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I wanted to talk to you about that too. Like you said, we're on similar wavelengths with things, but like just the mindset it takes with all that unknown shit that we talked about.
Unknown.
The mindset it takes to like be within this space and like having a fucking vision and having that vision of where you want it to go, but just knowing that you have a certain amount of control over that vision or where it takes you. You know, because I was talking to a friend that was they started out doing something specific that led them into like their dream job, but they probably never envisioned it would lead them into that through this.
That's exactly, you know what I'm saying? Point, bro. You know? That's exactly like the vibe here, man, where you're just like, wait, what? How did that even... Yeah. Like, how did that work out?
So it's a lot of faith, bro. You gotta fucking have, faith, man. Bro. It's a lot of just like believing. Of course, you have to take action. It's not only in yourself too.
Like it's faith, like within like that the universe will provide. You know, bro. Or God, whatever you want to call it, bro. Like whatever you want to call it, but it's like you really have to put it out there where you just really have to believe that is gonna come. And that you are gonna work for it, and it might take a while, man, but it'll get there. And from what I've seen, is the harder you put in the work, the easier it comes to you too. So it's a very interesting dynamic, and it's maybe very spiritual, and it's also helped me conquer fear, because it's made me realize that everybody has their own fear, their own version of fear, and their own individual fears, where another thing that's helped through mentorship is that I don't have the same fears that maybe my mentor had, and same thing for you, or same thing for my grandparents. So then sometimes through these talks, they've been able to snap me out of shit with like, what are you saying, bro? Like, what do you, like, you know, they talk about maybe I already suffered through something, or not, I wouldn't say suffered, that's not like the right word, that I've already went through like an obstacle similar to that in a younger stage of my life. I just like lost it, you know what I mean? And they like pull me back into reality of like, yo, these are the similar struggles to this, and did you make it out of that? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, so what are we worried about? And then I'm like, fuck, you're right, bro. And that's like a very rudimentary way of explaining it, but it's been countless times that I've gone to someone for advice in terms like that, and their experience has helped me get through it, as well as the fact that they don't have the same fears that I do, that they're like, and when I say fears, like that could be worries as well, if you want to look at them that way. They have different things that they're worried about, and so they're able to attack different things. And so when I bring up my issue that might not be so big, but in my head I'm like, what the fuck, you know, they're like, dude, just do this, blah, 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 blah. What are you fucking so scared about? And then you're like, oh, I don't know, actually. You know, because you, just as much as you have the potential to be the greatest version of yourself, you also play tricks in your own mind, and you think you're not capable of doing things that it's not until that like close mentor or person that can be able to snap you out of like, stop thinking that way. Like you're just scared because of whatever reason, because it's fear. Most of the time when I have conversations like that, I realize later it's fear. It's
you're
like
getting
a fear,
engulfed by like
your own lies.
Yeah.
It's your own lies, which is crazy too. Where like it's someone close that has been able to snap me out and be like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that, like blah 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 blah. You've done that before, blah blah, you know, and then you're like, oh, I guess you're right. I guess this isn't that big of a deal, huh? And they're like, yeah, dummy. And I'm like, okay, okay. You know, it's kind of part of the hype to help you pull through hard moments, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and it used to be my mom's before she passed away, but now I've like, you know, kind of leaned a lot more on my grandparents, my step pops and my friends, you know, since I just don't have mom anymore. So before she was the one that I would like talk to about a lot of these things, you know, privately, and then, you know, if I wanted to open up to somebody else, I might, but for the most part, she was the one that kept all my secrets. And then since she's passed, I feel like I've just been learning as well to be able to open up with different people, you know, and then being able to be open with like people that are close to me and that I've known for years, but maybe like they don't know like me, you know, a little bit more of like the deeper side of how I feel about certain things, or like, you know, because I think that's when it starts to matter, you know, like when you start talking about things that you truly feel within you of like who your person is, if that makes sense, you know. And I've been able to like kind of express that a little bit more with my friends in the last like 2 or 3 years, and I'm, you know, like grateful for it, because I think all of the relationships I've had in those last couple of years have been probably the strongest ones, you know, and people shine through and people also dim out like accordingly. And it's crazy that the universe, again, the higher power, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, like it does a really good job at filtering the needs and the don'ts, you know, like of everything. Of everything. It starts to really show you like what you need to move forward and what you really don't. And that could be people, that could be materials, that could be a job, like that could be a lot of things, man. You know, but it'll make it clear, dude. It'll make it real clear, and you'll make every excuse. Like I promise you, every excuse to be like, nah, like one more year, or like just this or just that, and then somehow, bro, the universe just keeps shitting on you enough where you're just like, I get it. All right, I get it. And sometimes it's like almost immediately after the other, you know, where you're just like, okay, yeah, this is an exit type of situation at this point. And like I said, that could be relationships, that could be jobs, that could be, dude, anything, dude. Fuck, dude, like literally anything. You'll know. And once you get older, I feel like you get better at really like peeping those like moments where you're just like, all right, I'm straying from the path and I understand.
Yeah, you gotta really have that radar.
Yeah.
That inner radar, bro.
100%.
Like once you start feeling yourself slipping, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
We gotta get back on
the
path.
You gotta get back on it. Yep.
Yeah. Real shit. So hell yeah, that community, self accountability. That's a good combination right there, bro.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Good combination, bro.
Fuck yeah. Very grateful for you, dude. Very grateful for a lot of things that you've done.
Likewise.
A lot of things that you probably don't even know you did, you know? That just one conversation switched over like my mental state, like I'm saying, where maybe I wasn't so verbal on like how stressed I was about a certain situation, or like maybe even like showing it. But like some shit like I've shared with you, I was bugging about, and you've helped me out of some things, and I'm like, all right, like I am just tripping, you know, like and I'm sure I've done the same for you, because like I realized that once you start opening up, I think one of the things that holds people back is like trying not to put worries on to other people. So like once you kind of like try to mask your worry a little bit more, you can like positively talk about it. And through all that stuff, like there's so many people that have helped me through shit that I've been like, yeah, I was kind of fucking freaking out about that inside, and you didn't know that, but you've helped me through it, you know. And you're one of those people that like you don't, maybe I've not necessarily verbally said it, but goddamn, bro, for sure you've helped me in some situations that I was like, all right, awesome,
good, man.
This was just in my head, you know.
Good to hear, yeah.
It was just in my head.
It definitely goes both ways.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we definitely help one another. That's for damn sure, bro.
Yeah, man.
And
it goes to show
continues.
Community, bro.
Yeah, it
It really is
continues
community.
and bond grows deeper, and yeah, bro, really solidifying some shit, man.
Yeah, man.
And I knew things would be this way if it just kept going the way it was going. Cause it was a big goal of mine to have consistent connection. You know what I'm saying? And it's really proving to be very valuable.
Yeah.
With how things are building.
Yeah.
Because yes, we are becoming a consistency, and now like being closer and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Being
in
closer proximity
dope,
changes everything. Going back to like the shit that's just supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I was actually thinking about this recently, about how like some of my friends, haven't made it out here because it's far or whatever, blah 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 blah. People make any excuse, and how you're around the corner basically. And in my head, like I was like, man, I'll trade fucking 10 million other fucking people like those people versus one Shabri. So I don't even really give a fuck, bro. Like, just the fact having you so close and being able to know that, we're going to link up so much more than we were linking up before. And it's not that we weren't linking up, consistently either.
Still made it happen.
It was pretty consistent.
Still fucking made it happen, bro.
And one thing I really appreciate about your friendship is as well that like we can fluctuate through like just watching a TV show or like talking for fucking 3 hours straight to fucking whatever, man. Like it's literally so diverse when you come over that we don't ever like just do one thing. It's not just like one thing. We don't talk about just one thing. We don't just like, there's been so many times now, especially recently, where like the hanging out turns into like dinner and like a movie, and then like that's like the end of our day, like, and we went through a whole ass day together, so it just
like the other day
show.
we didn't come over for long, but we watched the movie and it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. And we all watched it pretty much with like everybody together, like a family. So it was like,
I was like, yeah, I like that.
Those are also moments that I realized like now they like make me very happy, because it just like makes me think of family time when you were a kid. Like that's where it takes me. It's like, you're sitting down, you're watching something that like everybody's kind of enjoying, and everyone's invested. Because we were like it was Toy Story 4, so I don't even know when it came out, but like it's been a minute since I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. It was like seeing it for the first time
again. Yeah, bro, again, and I really enjoyed it. So
I think I enjoyed it the second time more. Yeah,
because of the little details you peep. Yeah, because I felt the same way too.
Yeah.
I felt the same way.
I think I was paying a little more attention to it, and I was like, okay,
yeah.
Toy Story getting a little deep over here.
100%, man. I felt that's from like the third one though.
Yeah.
I felt like they were like really starting to. One thing that I like kind of like about Pixar specifically is I think they're doing a really good job at grasping at the kids that grew up watching those movies, as well as the kids that are growing up now watching those movies. Where I'm like, damn, man, like it's kind of cool to see that. Well, that they're doing little tidbits for us, but as well as new people, I really enjoy that.
I feel that because when you watch it, that shit's like made for us.
Yeah.
But then it's like, kids love this. So there's something.
Because Kenji didn't fucking make a peep the entire movie, bro.
And he didn't understand the complexities of
what
was going on.
Like, oh shit, this is dope, But you as an adult, you're like, holy shit, this is deep, this is crazy. Like,
and I find myself, when I'm watching stuff with him, I find myself like looking at it and then looking at him, like seeing how he's reacting to this. I'm like,
is he grasping the whole thing?
So that's interesting, man.
Yeah, man, that's super dope.
That's real interesting, bro.
And he was invested, bro. Yes, so that was interesting to see how, because I've seen him come over in now several modes now. So now you're like, oh, okay, that's what that. I mean, that explains the kid, You're just
the many sides of Kenji.
Yeah, the many sides of Kenji, So you get to see that, like, all of that just got honed into, I'm going to sit down and pay attention. Because we all sat down and paid attention to it, like he was like, all right, and I feel like he might have like kind of like made a little bit of noise at the beginning, but then like I don't really remember him making a peep.
He was chilling.
Yeah,
He was chilling, bro.
It,
and like intent, like.
Yeah, he was in it. Like he was very invested. Like
you know.
And that's what makes you wonder, like, how much do they understand, man?
Yeah.
Like, how much do they really understand?
I think they do grasp the emotion, though.
Absolutely.
You know,
because it's all like also facial expressions. You know that they like they're, from my understanding, we're basically like genetically wired to look for that as like children, like facial expressions for like reactions and stuff.
Yeah, because I can tell when he like looks at me for those certain like
oh.
that
stressed and shit, or
nonverbal communication, like you know, whatever kind of face he knows.
Oh yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying.
Know?
Yeah, so he like makes actual facial expressions that lets you understand more of what he's trying to communicate. Yeah. And it's things that he's learned through us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows what I'm communicating. He's learning what I'm communicating through
those,
certain things
through those faces.
Yeah.
Right. The mom and dad energy, you know. Yep. 100%.
But you've seen like how he can exploit it if he's in an environment where he's just like
coddled and pampered. Yeah.
Not only that, but just let run loose, you know.
Yeah.
No rules, no boundaries, you know. Gets too comfortable.
He gets a little wild, yeah, for sure.
So I took him to go see my homie today. Shout out to Jamie. But he works at like a recreation center.
Okay.
And you know, we were in there chilling and I was helping them. They were getting some stuff together for like a big event. So I was just talking to him and, you know, chopping it up a little bit. But the more and more that Kenji got comfortable, the more he started like going behind the office desk and trying to grab the phone and stuff.
Starting to be mischievous.
Yeah, so it's like you can't allow them, you can't give them
to be too much. Yeah.
Or they know they
start
innately they innately have it in them to like push further. Like if I can get here, what else can I go further and further and further until you gotta put that roadblock up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No more.
Sometimes you gotta put that roadblock up real quick. You know, but they will exploit.
And you see
the situation.
Too.
You know,
you see it.
For sure.
You get to see the difference in his attitude, which is crazy, dude. It's crazy. How like again, the smallest details really influence the children in the house. Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
Cause think about once he's able to articulate, and I bet we'll be able to see bits of ourselves within him with things that he does. You know what I'm saying?
I do not doubt it, bro. I do not doubt that he will pick up on just little things, like which is crazy to think about. That it could be just maybe even like gestures. The way someone might have like shrugged his shoulder, because I've noticed that he's come over sometimes that I've been like, yo, what the fuck's up with that? And you're like, I don't know. So, and in my head, I'm like, oh, he must have seen it somewhere, and now he's shrugging his shoulders all the time.
He started doing it one day, bro, and it didn't stop since.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Just little things like that where I'm now aware, like, damn, man, I got to be a lot more careful around like what I do around the kid, because it's gonna influence him directly. So I kind of have to be on my P's and Q's around him to just like make sure I'm not negatively influencing him. You know, like it's interesting to see how that is just almost wired into us too. You know? Yeah. I'm like, okay, be good. Don't do anything weird. Don't. Good things. You know?
Yeah. Good stuff, though.
Definitely.
So I'm happy for what we've built to this point, and I'm excited for what we will continue to build.
Same, man.
And just continue to add on to our legacies, and we get to like sit back in the theater and watch one another's movies play out.
Hell yeah. Not sure if I'll have a movie
from scratch.
Picture more of like a serious biopic, you know?
Okay.
Definitely not, bro.
I'll say if that's your vision. Okay.
Black and white, you know? Real classic.
A little noir going on. Yeah. All right, folks. We're going to go get some food, man.
We hungry.
We hungry out here. So thank you guys for joining us for another episode of the Shinobi Podcast. I got my man back, my brother, mi hermano. We back. Man, this is damn, you've been on every season now, huh?
Have I?
Officially.
Hell yeah.
Official, man. Keep those constants in your life, man. Keep those real ones around you, bro.
Yes.
Real talk. You got any last things to say to the people? You got any social media? You got anything to plug? What you got to say to the folks before we get out of here?
Big George, Pointy Ear Training, on Instagram. I have a Facebook page as well if you want to go give that a like. I got a TikTok. I'm not that active on there, but I think I'm planning on being a little bit more active. Might not be so much dog stuff, but we'll see. But yeah. Tune in and give me a follow, and thank you so much for having me on the podcast, brother, man.
Always.
It's been a pleasure, man.
You always got a welcome seat.
Thank you.
Always got a welcome seat over here.
Appreciate it.
All right, everybody, remember to hit up King Deontay. Shout out King Deontay Design Customs for your Shinobi apparel, your DSK Design Customs apparel. Check out everything on the site. Support the movement. As you see, we creating this community. We just gonna keep this thing moving.
He does good work because he did my shirts.
No doubt. We got some new shirts coming. I got this exclusive right here.
Got some hoodies coming myself.
We're gonna get this thing unveiled at some point, but we got some new hoodies coming. Just know that we got a lot in the works, so just be patient with us. We got a lot coming. We building, and one day we're gonna have a machine to be able to run this thing, to have this thing running extra smooth, extra profitable, extra prosperous. But we in the trenches now.
We in the trenches.
And we ain't afraid to get dirty, and we gonna continue to be here until we get up to that level where we clean and we chilling. But we always gonna come back down to the people, you know, because the people are what gets us to where we need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The people that surround us, and then you guys out there that support us, support our movement, what we got going on. We appreciate you. Remember to check out King Shinobi Scene Breakdowns, Shinobi Games. I've been doing a lot more gaming. I'm going to be doing a lot more live streaming. So I've just been kind of putting some videos out there on YouTube, but I'm keeping them coming. Got some Call of Duty, got some Inside, which I'm going to get y'all up on these 2D games. I got some dope-ass 2D games out there. I'm gonna start playing a lot of 2D games, get y'all up on that shit, man. But check out all that on the Shinobi Entertainment Network on YouTube. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok. We're also going to be having some fitness videos coming. But like I said, we got a lot of things going. A lot of things got to get done before other things can get done and completed. So, hey, we just got a whole lot of variety coming. A whole lot of variety. It's coming. It's coming.
The wave is coming.
It might be coming bit by bit, but just know it's on the way. So the more you guys support us, the more resources we can put into this and, you know, continue to increase the quality of everything.
Absolutely.
You know? But we'll holler at y'all on the next one. Remember, take care of yourselves out there. Keep going for your dreams, man. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with a community that got your back. That's going to lift you up. That's going to support you. It's going to put you out there in people's faces, talk good about you. You know what I'm saying? Surround yourself with those people, man, and y'all build something together, bro. Build the empire together. Your empire does not have to be a solo empire, man. You got to have allies, man. What if the enemy's on your gates, man? What if they outside the gates? You gotta call the allies. You gotta send that signal. Have you send that signal out, man, so the homies come. And same thing for them. The homies got somebody on their gate, they need you, you gotta be there.
You gotta show up.
You better show up. You know what I'm saying? Those are people you gotta have around you, man. So keep a solid foundation around you at all times, right? But much love to y'all. We'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Peace. I'm gonna go grub.
Shinobi Podcast.